Boker Tov, everybody. So this week's parsha is Emor. Emor means speak. God is commanding Moses to speak to the Israelites regarding the Shalosh Regalim, the 3 pilgrimage festivals. So these are, the holidays that we celebrate that were traditionally moments when they would make pilgrimages to Yerushalayim, to Jerusalem, to offer their sacrifices. So this was Sukkot, Pesach, and Shavuot. But I want to talk to you about something interesting which occurs in this parsha, which is lechem hapanim. It's often translated as showbread. What does that mean? Showbread. And it sounds like something out of the Great British Bake Off. But if you look at the parsha, it explains so many things about lechem hapanim. It explains exactly the quantities of flour they're to use, how many loaves. It's also, it's matzah, not matzah like we have today that are sold in those boxes and the crackly cracker stuff. Traditionally, like back in those days, matzah was more like a flat bread. But what did it look like, right? We don't know what it actually looked like. And there's been a lot of speculation about lechem hapanim. And some of the sages had said that it looked like a ship, a dancing ship. Some said it looked like an open ark. And what do those mean? So I've seen a couple of illustrations of what lechem hapanim may have looked like. And so I'm just going to show you with my hands. So one of them was like this, like a wide open box sort of. And then there was one with open, like a wide open box like this. But one of them was like a V, and one of them was like a very narrow V. Those don't look like shapes that you would expect bread to be in and to hold their shape, especially matzah when you consider it didn't have leavening. So we are still a little bit baffled by this particular mitzvah, and there's not really an explanation for why we do it. But if you look at the fact that where this occurs, it's telling us about Shalosh Regalim, it's telling us about the 3 pilgrimage festivals. These are times when we are sort of recognizing God's abundance. And that is demonstrated to us very clearly through the eating of food, through bread, through sustenance. And there were actually very specific people whose responsibility it was to bake the lechem hapanim, who were sort of entrusted to that. So I think even though it's still a little bit baffling to us today, even thousands of years after the giving of the Torah, what lechem hapanim may have looked like, the fact that we had it, the fact that we're meant to recognize God's abundance in connection, especially with the holidays, and I think to also just have further appreciation for things like sustenance, right? So I encourage you to look at those little things in your life, little things, and to recognize the value they have in your life, and the fact that we have gratitude for these little things that sustain us.